Hello, what's up, guys? You're watching the Quezt, and I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez. We're out here on a Friday night for episode 39, and it's 10/8/21.
Turn on.
What's up, guys? How's your week been? Last time I left you, it was definitely a Saturday for some, because shout out to the outside shit. Shout out to the outside shit. What's up, guys? Episode 39. We're almost to 40, which means we're almost to 52. Which, if we've been doing this weekly, every single week for 52 weeks, that means we've done it for a year. Quick maths. I want to do like a highlight video, so let me know your favorite Quest moments. I'll post it on the IGTV anyways. What's up, guys? Friday morning, I paid bills. Ugh, I did adult stuff. Woke up this morning, and paid my bills on time, and all the bills, they took my paycheck. Dude, I think that's one of my favorite accents, like to mimic or whatever. It's like, hey, man, use a bumbo clot, man. That's the things with the blood on them. Canceled. Fucking stamp it. Canceled. What's up, guys? Sunday I worked. Monday and Tuesday didn't train. Wednesday took the day off. Thursday didn't do stand-up. Just took a week from me and the fam. Shout out to Bell and Enzo. I love you guys. To be determined on the Comedy Zone with all the overtime and peak coming up. And that's really it. That's all that's happened in my week. What's happened in your week? No. Whenever you're ready. Do you see the stern face? It's like, that's acting right there. Anyways, last week, I announced that there would be a cereal tournament. Now, this is only the second tournament I've ever done. If you remember earlier in the episodes of the Quest, I tried to pull and accomplished a Little Debbie tournament. The winner ended up being fudge rounds. I sat here and I fucking downed a pack of fudge rounds. So, there were 32 contestants in the Little Debbie tournament. This time around, in the cereal tournament, I knocked it down to about 16, because there are only about 16 main hitters. And so, I'm going to break down round one. I want you guys to know that this whole bracket was randomized. And I had nothing to do with these matchups. So, round one. We have Wheaties versus Raisin Bran. Now, I have to add a little bit of stevia to my Wheaties, and that's not Splenda. It's not the sugar substitute. It's just stevia that derives from the plant. And anyways, it's sugar but not sugar. So Wheaties was taking on Raisin Bran. I hate Raisin Bran. I told myself that I would have no say in this tournament unless there was a 50-50 tie. Ever since the PB&J grilled cheese, I can't risk it anymore. Okay? Yay. So, we have Wheaties versus Raisin Bran. Raisin Bran beats out Wheaties 52-48. 52% to 48. So that blew my mind. I didn't know I had a bunch of old people voting on my Insta. Next matchup. We had Apple Jacks versus Captain Crunch. Now, I didn't just put Captain Crunch, I put the alternative of Crunch Berries. I didn't get to the oops, all berries, any of that. I'll tell you the alternatives as I present them, but I didn't go too wild this time. Because last time I had all the types of donuts, all the types of this, No. We're sticking to the basics, okay? So, Apple Jacks versus Captain Crunch and Crunch Berries. Captain Crunch won 73% to 27%. It was a blowout. Next matchup, Trix versus Rice Krispies. Now, if you're asking, did you put Cocoa Krispies with the Rice Krispies? Yes, I did. So, Trix is in a handicap match taking on not only Rice Krispies, but Cocoa Krispies as well. Still won 54 to 46%. So Trix is moving on to the next round. Tricks for kids. Next up, Frosted Flakes versus Fruit Loops. That's Tony the Tiger versus Toucan Sam. It was a blowout. 70% Frosted Flakes to 30% Fruit Loops. How? Like I said, I randomized these matchups. Enzo picked them, really. Next match. Frosted Flakes goes on to the next round. Next match. Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles versus Reese Puff. Now, I feel like this was a tough one because, like I said, I added the alternatives to some. So not only do I have Fruity Pebbles, I have Cocoa Pebbles. Now, if it was just Fruity Pebbles versus Reese Puffs, you might be thinking, if Fruity Pebbles are nice, which I think they're top tier, I have no dog in the fight. I'm leaving myself out of it, but Fruity Pebbles are top tier. Versus Reese Puffs, you're like, I'm feeling more chocolatey. And then I went and fucked up and added the Cocoa Pebbles too. So you can kind of see, like, oh, okay, well, I'll just I'll just pick the top one. So Fruity Pebbles won 64% to 36%. So shout out to Fruity Pebbles. They advance to the next round. Next matchup, Honeycombs versus Pops. This seemed pretty easy for some of you. Some of you fuck with Pops, but it was 63% Honeycombs, 37% Pops. Honeycombs moves on to the next round. Next matchup, Cinnamon Toast Crunch versus Cocoa Puffs. Now, y'all ditch the Reese's and y'all ditch the Cocoa Puffs because it was 79% Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Even when I did the quarantine episodes about the Cinnamon Toast Crunch with the shrimp tails in them, do you guys remember that? If you weren't here for that, they found 2 fucking shrimp tails in a box. It wasn't just anybody who found it. It was the husband of Danielle Fishel, Topanga Lawrence. It was her husband who found 2 shrimp tails in a box of cinnamon. Anyways, 79% Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Y'all nasty shrimp eating mother. And then the final matchup, Lucky Charms versus Cheerios. Now, I did add the alternative, Cheerios and Honey Nut Cheerios. Like I said, I didn't get into the whole frosted Cheerios, chocolate Cheerios, Kix. I didn't get into that. Honey Nut Cheerios and Cheerios versus Lucky Charms. And Lucky Charms wiped the floor with them 71% to 29%. Shout out to Lucky Charms. Now I know why they're after you. Anyways, that's the cereal tournament, guys. I just broke down round 1. Round 2. The matchups are going to get harder. As did the Lil Debbie matchups. And I expect friends to be, friends to be enemies in this. We're all foes here. You get a cereal and you stand behind it. Dude, did we make it? Dude, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I try to make content that I would enjoy when I make this. And so I guess that translates to you somehow. Some of you sit here and watch it. And I'm so glad for you. I'm so glad that I have people who, I don't know, make me not feel like I'm speaking into the void. So shout out to you. Thanks for being here. All right. On to the imprint of the week. Fucking. Oh. I double tapped the button. Imprint of the week brought to you by Imprint Jones. Shout out to Imprint Jones. Who is your least favorite comedian? And if you went head to head with them, how would you approach your type of comedy, like your style of comedy, in a way that would get people more interested in wanting to watch you more than them, and why? Okay, so when it comes to my least favorite comedian, I don't really know Amy Schumer. Whatever she's been accused of, put that to the side. I just have a certain taste of comedy, and she doesn't fit it. Whatever. I don't like joke thieves. Don't steal. So, I mean, how would I approach my style of comedy? The same way I do now. Don't fucking steal. You write your own stuff, and if you go up there and it doesn't get laughs, then it's you. You're at fault. I love making people laugh. But if I take it from somebody else, what does that do for me? That's not me. I'm not making them laugh. Somebody else's joke is making them laugh. Now, there's a such thing as inspiration, and I always try to tell you guys, like, I don't watch a lot of stand-up because I don't want to get cryptomnesia, where I think that I write it and I don't. You know, that I don't want that. Nobody should want that. Now, Hollywood gets involved when you get a TV show, and they might repeat skits. Like, you can't be in control of the writers at all time, and you can't be writing the whole show and acting and being the guy. Like, what I do right here, I'm the guy, and then I shut this down, and then I'm the guy, and the whole time during the week, I'm the guy. Like, I'm all the guys. And that's fair because I do a small operation. When you have millions of dollars pumping into the corporate Hollywood machine, I can see where stuff gets convoluted. So no super diss to Amy Schumer, but I would just not steal. I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be authentic as I can be. I will not steal a joke. I do not. I got some donuts this week, actually. Stopped at Krispy Kreme. I got a dozen assorted, right? A dozen assorted. I come home with 12. Not a 13, not a baker's dozen, but I come home with a regular dozen assorted. And Miranda goes, "You got everyone but my favorite." B-I-T, B? B? So, like the fucking scoundrel I am, the next day I went and got her two favorites. Two. Not whatever. Two of her favorites. Anyways, I would probably do something outside of the box. Kind of something. This is what I thought about immediately when you said that. Like, what would you do to get people more interested in watching you than watching them? And this is what I would do.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, help me to dispatch this melon.
Now, if you don't know who this guy is, this is Gallagher. I've never watched a whole special of him, but just researching this little bit, trying to find where he smashes the melon, he made me laugh. And this is the kind of shit that makes me laugh when I'm just like on the shitter at work or just walking around. Just walking from my car to, inside of work. This is what I think about.
1, 2.
I love how the person, like 8 rows back, has the trash bag. They're like, no. And then he just runs off. Like, oh, I smashed the melon. Fucking. Let me back.
Help me to dispatch this melon. 1, 2.
Oh, dude. That's hilarious. Shout out to Gallagher. Uh-oh. Yeah, dude. That's what I would do. I would just separate myself, write authentic stuff, and be funny. I hope I gave you what you wanted. Shout out to Imprint Jones. Fucking slash, dude. Slash, dude. Okay. Fury versus Wilder 3 is here. Where were you the first two fights? Damn, question of the week. That has me thinking a little bit. Okay, so the first fight of Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder, I got invited to a watch party. Now, when you get invited to a watch party, for, all your friends are going to be there, and it's just a bunch of testosterone in a room in like a small 2-bedroom apartment, it can be kind of tricky. And this particular time, I was pulling, it was the very first fight out of 3. Spoiler alert, it goes on to 3 fights. So, I get invited to this apartment party. And my boy Tamarcus and Leo's. Shout out to Tamarcus and shout out to Leo. So, I get invited with Mike. Shout out to Mike. And Brennan is going to be there. Agent Brennan. Shout out to Brennan. And so, we're watching the fight. And Tyson Fury is representing mental health. And at the time, it kind of struck, really deep with me. I was like, hell yeah, that's the guy I'm rooting for. I'm the only guy at this fucking party rooting for Tyson Fury. Everybody wants Deontay Wilder 39, 38 knockouts, 39 knockouts, almost 40 plus, I think 40 knockouts at the time. Had knocked out, flatlined everybody that he had faced, except for one guy. But in the rematch of that one guy, flatlined him. Flatlined. Stavern. I think it was Stavern. Faces him once, goes to a decision. Faces him the next time, knocks him against the rope. Silly. Neck folds. Shout out to Deontay Wilder. So everybody thought that he was just going to run through Tyson Fury. It had been 3 years off, 2 years off, something crazy like that. He had 2 warm-up fights, which in boxing, it's not like the UFC, you get warm-up fights. So he had 2 warm-up fights before he faces the heavyweight champion of the world. At least one of them, because boxing has all these belts. It's like the WWE, they have so many fucking belts. Anyways, so he brings Tyson back from the dead and restores his career in this epic heavyweight matchup. And so Tyson comes back and he looks as fluid as ever. Boxes his fucking face off. But Tyson gets dropped in round 9, I think. And he gets dropped in round 12. And that's what we're about to analyze right now. I was at this party and I had picked Tyson Fury. And so when this moment hit, and Leo had a staff or something, he was like Donatello, fucking. So I was confused about the staff. And so I was just trying to capture that on my snap. Shout out to Karate Leo. Yeah! Donatello does machines. Anyways, so everybody is there, and they're like, I'm telling you, Deontay's going to win. Deontay's going to win. And I'm like, y'all must not know. Y'all must have forgot. And so this is what I'm going through when I see this, all right?
Wilder looking for all the world like he's pulling it off.
Now, Tyson does this thing in this fight where I guess he just took his eye off the ball, and he does this thing where he dips to his right. And Deontay, he's known for the fucking power right. He can get it from A to B quicker than anybody in the heavyweight division. And there's something about when you throw it over the top and you just rain down with power, you're going night-night. So this is, I'm sitting just like this. Just like, well, he's boxing his head off. It's the 12th round. Let's see what happens. I mean, he knocked him down once, but if it goes to the decision, my boy won 11 of the 12 rounds. So let's see.
Another upset. There's a right cross that lands for Fury. Oh, down goes one Fury.
Oh. It was at this point when I saw him dip, I was like, oh. And then Deontay hit the right. And then the follow-up left. Look at this shit.
The right cross that lands for Fury.
Boom.
Oh,
Boom. Boom. Night. And so everybody's going crazy. Even Moro. My boy Moro. Shout out to Moro Ronaldo.
Down goes one Fury. Mamma mia.
I love when he says that shit. Everybody's going crazy. They're like, I told you. And I'm like, fuck. That's my favorite fighter, representing mental health. I look like a fool. I'm the only one that's there, like tongue in cheek, like, yeah, but I mean, damn though. So he gets knocked down. Everybody's going nuts, dude. Like they're fucking, yeah. And so I'm sitting there, not cool as a cucumber, but putting on the facade, putting on the charade of being okay. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's see what happens.
Deontay Wilder has done it. Knocking.
Boom. Like the fucking Undertaker. Boom. Gets up, just fucking.
Down Fury about 12.
He's up. Can you continue? Wow, he got up.
Yeah.
You want to go?
Yes.
Walk over there and come back to me.
And then he does the little jog. Deontay can't believe it. First of all, Deontay can't believe it. He's like, like,
Incredible turn of events here in the 12th.
and then Tyson, he wakes up and he ends up winning the rest of the round. Fight goes to a draw. Kind of bullshit is that? So they do a rematch, immediate rematch, and it happens in February of 2020. So they call it, and they're like, well, he knocked him down twice. One in the 9th and one in the 12th. It's probably going to be a draw. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. He boxed his face off. There's no fucking way there's going to be a rematch. He won fair and square, new heavyweight champion of the world. Lineal, and then he, retained it. He left as the champion, did a bunch of coke, contemplated suicide, and came back and became world champion. Dude, amazing. But robbery happened, and it was a draw. So, of course, there had to be a second fight. And in the 12th round, after he got up from Deontay's knockout, he kind of realized, like, I got to take it to this guy. So in the second fight, or in the 12th round, when he gets back up, he starts taking it to him. And that right hand that Deontay has, the best right hand, strongest right hand in the game, it's hard to throw it on the back foot. It's hard to throw it when you're backing up. So all Fury has to do is pressure him and get Deontay on the back foot, and that right hand is essentially obsolete. Now, I don't know that because I didn't fight Deontay Wilder, but that was the game plan going into the second fight. Tyson Fury looked at the second fight like round 13 of the first fight and just took it to him. So we're about to break down the knockout of the second fight, which isn't really a knockout. It's more of like Deontay's team, like, okay, you've had enough for 7 rounds. We have to call it. So you'll see how bad he's getting whooped just a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole fight, obviously, but where I was for the second fight, I was either one of two places. and I don't know which one is, I don't know, more, I would say inappropriate, but neither one of them are inappropriate. So the first one, I'm in bed next to Miranda. We're in our apartment in Columbia, and I got a Russian stream going on. And I'm just sitting here, like, in bed. And the 7th round comes, and they throw in the towel. I'm gonna play it as I'm, like, watching it in bed with you guys. You ready?
A left hook by Wilder. You're absolutely right, Christina. Fury is closing the distance, and he is putting his body weight on Wilder. Wilder needs to stay away from the ropes. He does not look the right hand. It's team up. Oh, shit! Tyson Fury has become the new WBC.
That's exactly what it was like, dude. I was in the bed, and I was just like, oh, no. Like, I had to be quiet, though. Or if my memory serves me wrong, I was at my old workplace. I won't disclose. I won't disclose the French company that I worked for at the time, but I was working third shift down in Columbia, and same thing, Russian stream, sitting on a forklift, driving a forklift, you know. I don't really tell y'all about my forklift skills. I used to whip it like my daddy. I used to whip that shit like my daddy, right? So, got the phone in my lap, playing the Russian link. You're absolutely
right, Christina. Fury is closing the distance, and he is putting his body weight on Wilder. Wilder needs to stay away from the ropes.
Oh, shit. Again. Just taking the product from point A to point B. Third shift, ain't got shit on my mind but this fight. Ready?
He does not look the right hand. It's team up. Tyson Fury has become the new WBC.
Dude, beautiful moment. Beautiful moment, dude. I enjoyed every second of it. I don't know why I keep trying to put that in my pocket. But I was one of those two places. I was either in bed, being a POS boyfriend. just let me sleep. Oh, baby! Or I was at work, being a POS worker. Hey, man, we got stuff to do. Yeah, I know. But just, it's only going to go 7 rounds. That's what I did on DraftKings. DraftKings.com/Moonlit Studios. 50% off. So, before I slash, I want to let you guys know that your boy almost died today. I was riding with Alex. Shout out to my boy Alex, A Dizzle, One Lung, Daddy Lou, Daddy Lung. Shout out to my boy Alex. We had just came from Mike's. My boy Mike. Shout out to Mike. We're just running an errand, dropping Alex back off at his house, and we're going the back ways because the Interstate 85 is trash. Trash. Don't want to drive that. We're on our way back, and I've taken these back roads. I used to live in the area for like 13 years. I've taken these back roads all of my, like most of my driving life. And so we're just driving along, singing a song, and all of a sudden we get to this turn. Now this turn is not haunted. This turn is not cursed. It is not something that a person in that lived in the area should be scared of if it's an everyday occurrence. Like you take that to work? No, just drive it responsibly. So, we're just driving along, and I see this blue Honda whips around this turn. this is the turn. I'm driving like we're in the driving lane, the right lane, just driving along, and we see coming like around the curve is this fucking blue Honda. And when I see it, it's perpendicular to us. Like, it's about to get T. It comes around the corner, fucking. And I'm like, what the fuck? Thank God I'm a good defensive driver, because all I did was, and so he's perpendicular to us with the bumper facing us, and then whips it back left, and it's like we saw him again, just fucking. Goes into the ditch that's about right here. If you were to do it, it's about right here. Goes into the ditch, full 180, facing away from us. Okay. So it had been rainy. Accidents happen. Alex and I, we drive like down the hill and some. We pull over and we park. He didn't hit us, didn't hit anybody. There was a van behind us that stopped and was like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And apparently he was okay. So they drove off. Left the scene of the crime. I got their license plate though. No. We pull over. Alex gets out of the car first. I follow. We roll up on this guy. And, dude, his Honda is stuck in the ditch. Can't get it out. And we drive up to him. We pull up to him. Just me and Alex walking. And when we walk up, he goes, "Hey, I'm glad I didn't hit y'all." That's a weird way to say sorry. That's a weird way to apologize for about fucking ruining our lives. Dude, he was sideways. We would have smashed on him. Both the airbags would have went off. And so I'm like, yeah, I'm glad too. And he just starts talking a whole bunch of nonsense. I look into his eyes. His eyes are redder than the devil's dick, guys. He was higher than a Georgia pine. Like, he was just like, "I'm glad I didn't hit y'all." Like, God dang, dude. At least be, like, high functioning or something. And so, this is how I knew he was fucked up. Because he goes, I guess I'll call my buddy's parents. Call your parents, bro. But it's just a blue Honda Accord. And he could tell he did something to the exhaust. Fucking, I hope somebody raw dogs his bird. Anyways. And then he goes, "I guess I got carried away a little bit." You guess? Why are you guessing? "I guess I'll just call my buddy's parents. I guess I just got carried away a little bit. I guess if you guys died, then I'd have to get a really good lawyer." Dude, you're Blitzkrieg Bob. What are you doing? I told Alex, let's just beat him up and take all his stuff. Like, let's beat him up and take his recreationals. Alex is like, "No, we can't do that." So, shout out to Alex for being a good Samaritan. That curve is fucking dangerous. I'm not going to do it again. So, I might do it again. So, that leads me, that story of that degenerate, of that inconsiderate fuck, leads me into this week's Unlocking Memories. And all I have written down right here is family drift. So it was this corner right here. Same scenario. It's me and the family, though. And when I say family, I mean in the driver's seat you have my mother. In the passenger seat you have my father. I think my brother Eli and I are in the middle seat because we're in a Dodge Caravan where, you slide open the side door. And so I'm on the outside seat where I can slide open the door for all three of us, whatever. Hank is in the back. I don't know whether he was in a car seat or not. Just, he's always weighed less than 60 pounds up until 11. And then he got a hold of some microwavable burritos and they changed his metabolism. That's a story in itself. So we're on a family just drive. I think we were going to Sonic or something. My dad used to do this thing where he would just want dessert. So when we went to Sonic one time, he he was like, I don't want a full banana split. I'm gonna get the junior. And he ordered the junior, and it ended up being like 2 bites. It ended up being like fucking this big, and he was pissed. He was like, he was pissed in a funny way. Like, I can't believe that I thought a junior would just be a little smaller. Anyways, so we're on one of our Saturday night, Sunday drives. But at this particular time, in our particular neighborhood, it had snowed or iced. And it had turned to black ice. Now, my friend Blake lived just around this curve, right? And he used to tell me all the time about he would be in his bed and he would hear car crashes and he would just hear people yelling like, "Oh my God! Help!" And he would just Mom! I could not imagine what that's like, dude. And so he lives right around this curve, and my mom is just going way too fast. Just, what are you doing? We're in a Dodge Caravan. I don't remember. It definitely wasn't just front wheel or just rear wheel drive. Rear wheel drive. Fucking. But yeah. So she's going around this curve. And before we know it, half the fucking van is in the ditch. Like where those signs are. If those signs were there at the time, it would have just took out the sign. Because she was halfway in the ditch. Now, at this point, what's on her mind? What's on my father's mind? What's on Eli, Hank, and my mind? Oh my God, we're about to die. Now, whether we all say that or not is up to us. But what makes this story stay in my head as much as it does is Hank in the back seat. We're going around this curve, and I have no armrest on this side. My baby brother right next to me. And I'm holding. Hank goes, "Oh my God!" He's like less than 7. Or he's just like, it was either "oh my God" or "oh God," and I can't decide which one I like more. So we're going a Dodge Caravan, half of that, deep into this ditch. And my mom is just trying to pull it out. Like, "Come on, you son of a..." And so Hank is just like, "Oh, God!" Bro, we don't need the commentary. So she ends up whipping it back out, fishtailing back out, leveling out, going about 25 past Blakely's. Shout out to my boy Blake. And my dad goes, "What? Did you do that on purpose? What are you doing?" Like, it was effortless how good she was and how able she was to whip it out of that ditch. So fuck that kid. Fuck that kid that almost killed me. Fuck you, blue Honda Accord. You could be high functioning, but I could have just passed. So be grateful for the days that you have. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for being here. I'm going to end on that. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Hopefully this episode wasn't too long. I will be back next week. We will go over to the next round of the cereal tournament. Gonna break down the next round real quick. So, next round, we have Raisin Bran versus Captain Crunch and the Crunch Berries, the alternative. We have Trix versus Frosted Flakes. Fruity Pebbles versus Honeycombs. And Cinnamon Toast Crunch versus Lucky Charms. Vote. The voting will be up on the Robert Dylan Vasquez Instagram page weekly on Thursdays. Comedy Zone to be determined with all the overtime and peak and stuff. I think that's it. We're out here on a Friday night for episode 39. It is definitely going to be a Saturday for some, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday for some, Wednesday, Thursday for some. As long as you're trying to watch, I don't care when you watch. Share with your weird friends. Hey, my friend Robert has his podcast. It's kind of weird. Do you take long shits? Don't ask him that. All right, guys. That's it. I love you. And I will see you on a later date. Fucking. See you later.